Howdy, everybody. Chris here. We're back in the garage today, and today we're continuing our Back to the Basics series. Today's topic is how to properly prep your primer and your panels for paint. It's very simple. I'm going to walk you through step by step the entire process that I use to prep out these panels for paint. Now, this Mustang, we repaired the quarter panels. Both quarter panels has some body damage on it and the bumper cover. And we'll cover those repairs and the painting of this vehicle in future episodes. So the first step in this process is to block sand the primer. So we've done the repairs on the quarter panels. We've primed it. We've got 2 coats of 2K urethane primer on it. Now we need to block sand it out. Make sure it's straight before we start prepping these panels for paint. So what I'm going to use here is a guide coat. A guide coat is just a tool. It's a charcoal-based powder that's going to help us determine if we have any high or low areas in our repair area. I'll start by blocking the flat areas with a small block and 320 grit sandpaper. We're going to remove the texture of the primer and look for any high or low areas. See how that texture is disappearing as we're blocking it? So it's important to keep your block flat against the panel when you're blocking. You want to block in kind of an X pattern, or what they call a crosshatch pattern. This gives you the best chance of getting your repair perfectly straight. I'm using a small block for this wheel opening. If you're blocking a large flat surface, try to use a larger block. This is going to cover more surface area and most likely get you better results. Now what I want to do is I want to run a piece of tape right on that body line. I kind of want to start shaping that body line, get it refined so we have a nice factory looking edge. Still using 320 grit sandpaper, I'm blocking down to the edge of that tape so we can sharpen that edge up. And this can be done in reverse too. So after I'm done blocking down to that edge, I'll clean it. I'll put the tape on the other side of that body line and block up to the edge. Got a little low area right there. Because I do have just that little low area there, and then we have an area right there where we burn through into bare metal, I want to apply a thin coat of primer over this before we go ahead and sand this with 600 and do our final prep on it. Before I apply the primer, I'm going to run over this with 600 grit sandpaper on the interface pad just to smooth out that primer that we didn't block sand. Once that's ready, we'll go ahead and apply a thin coat of primer over these repair areas. An interface pad is a soft pone pad that's going to allow that sandpaper to move with the contours of the body so you don't dig into your repair area. Isopropyl alcohol, wipe it down. Here I'm applying 1 thin coat of the upol 2253 2K primer. We'll let that cure overnight, and then we'll prep out these panels for the blend and the color tomorrow. So we're going to use our orbital sander with our 600 grit sandpaper. This is our foam pad here. You can see how it's going to flex when we move over this panel. We'll go over all the large areas with this 600 grit sandpaper, but then all those hard to reach areas on those body lines, you want to stay away from that with the DA. You want to do all that by hand. So I'm going to do that with a gray scuff pad. It's equivalent to about 1,000 to 1,500 grit scratch. And we'll get all those hard to reach areas with that scuff pad. And if you're interested in purchasing any of the products that I use in my videos, I will leave links to all the products I use down in the description. Once I'm done sanding these large areas with the DA, I'm going to go around and I'm going to mask off. I'm just going to put some tape around the window edge and any trim that I don't want to hit when I'm hand sanding. We need to keep all those areas protected from sand scratches. And it's very important to get all these edges sanded really well. You want to make sure that the shine is completely knocked off those areas, because those areas are going to be where that clear coat peels if you have an issue. So now we've got this all prepped out for paint. Very simple process. We do have a little burn through here, so we are going to end up having to seal this before we paint it. Now, Darius went ahead and got this bumper all ready. The process is the same on the bumper. We went over the primer with 320 grit sandpaper, and then we sanded completely the bumper with 600. And this vehicle is ready to paint. Listen, I hope you found this information helpful. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. I've got many more of these back to the basic videos coming. I don't gatekeep information on this channel. I'm all about helping you guys repair or restore your projects. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to respond to as many as possible. I appreciate each and every one of you watching. Continue to build your skill and click on this video now. We'll see you on the next episode of Garage Noise.